EP from Houston, they won't say who it was, said, "You will dump water in now." Stay briefly, Randy, then we're going to go read Robert, Sam, Ronnie, but this is important. No, I have the Coast Guard testimony. Anybody can go read it. This is what the court found.
Global meltdowns, massive unemployment, endless wars, a new currency crisis, financially and morally bankrupt. A great and terrible storm is approaching. So what's the best way to get ready, to get prepared for hard times ahead? Introducing Off the Grid News, a weekly newsletter for independent patriots who want practical advice on how to survive and prosper in an incredible self-reliance and packed with helpful information on survival gardening, food preparation, alternative energy, herbal medicines, privacy and security, as well as God, gold, and guns, with absolutely no apologies. And the best part, this $100 a year service is now free of charge for our listeners. That's right, free for our listeners who sign up at offthegridnews.com. That's offthegridnews.com. You can sign up free at offthegridnews.com. offthegridnews.com.
The Fall of America and the Western World is an all-new 10-hour documentary and survival guide rolled into one. In this film, you will see the reasons why our government is failing and what you can do to prepare. Featuring Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, Joseph Farah, David Icke, Naomi Wolf, G. Edward Griffin, Doug McIntyre, Mark Crispin Miller, Mickey Z, Doug Casey, David McElvaney, and myself, Alex Jones. Protect yourself and get the tools you need to protect your family from these difficult times. The Fall of America and the Western World at www.thefallofamerica.net or click on the banners at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Again, that website's www.thefallofamerica.net or call 800-655-1577. Prepare yourself and the ones you love today. Fallofamerica.net.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like candy, that Social Security would for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realist, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well, free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
The food storage industry leader has done it again. Introducing FDG Clubs and Survival Bucks from the Freeze Dry Guy. For over 39 years, the Freeze Dry Guy has served various government agencies and the private sector with the finest in storable foods and emergency rations. If you've wanted to build emergency food supplies but couldn't afford it, now you can. Go to freezedryguy.com, click on products, and look for the Freeze Dry Guy Clubs to pay as you go. Now you can build food storage without going into debt. Choose $5 to $450 per month. Our club with everyone's budget. Plus, when you join Free Dry Guy Clubs, you'll get additional rewards. 48 states on any order amount. It's easy, but this offer ends June 30th. Hurry. Go to freezedryguy.com or call 866-404-3663. That's freezedryguy.com or call 866-404-3663. The Freeze Dry Guy. The best you can buy.
Okay, I'm going to try to get through your calls a little bit quicker here, ladies and gentlemen, because I know there's a lot of key info people want to get out on air. We do have a special guest joining us in the next hour. Randy, finishing up the points you were making. Yes, the Coast Guard hearing with the witnesses find that the entire rig was very angry for a month. 2 weeks before, they knew there were cracks. They knew there were problems. And that they were on record saying it's guaranteed you're going to have this well come in and you're going to have a fire. And then once it happened, they saw all the different leaders of the three companies on their satellite phones saying, are you happy you've now done it? So bottom line, BP should be criminally negligent for doing this. And the question is, why does the media continue, and why do the police continue, why does the Coast Guard continue to say BP is in charge? Go ahead.
I don't get it, Alex. And this is a plea to my governor, Governor Jindal. Please step up to the plate and get involved with this, and don't let the feds control this. Don't let BP control this. I mean, you're talking about our livelihood, our coasts. I mean, this devastates us in every way. I mean, you got so many people across Louisiana that love to go red fishing, speckled trout fishing. You got shrimpers out here that their livelihood, depends on it. I mean, that BP exec, I heard one of them said that there's other parts of the world that he can get shrimp. Well, that BP exec that said that, yeah, he still has a paycheck and everything, but our Louisiana shrimpers are just trying to get by from week to week, month to month. And
well, my question is, what is Jindal doing in Louisiana other than complaining? What is Haley Barbour doing in Mississippi? Yeah, they complain. They've got the authority under the 9th and 10th Amendment to protect themselves, just like Arizona does from open borders and crime. They've got a right to go out there and stop that oil. What business does the federal government have having armed Coast Guard who are meant to protect us from foreign powers telling us we can't protect our industries?
Well, that's exactly right. And Governor Jindal got to remember, that's the whole reason he was elected in this last election, because he wasn't supposed to follow the status quo, that he was going to do things different for Louisiana, cut the corruption, different things like that. He ran on that type of platform. And they need to step up to the plate and just start taking charge, because they could have contained this thing from the beginning. Yeah,
I'll guarantee you, if the governor went out there with ships and told the Coast Guard to back off, Obama would back off. There's no way he could win that PR fight. But they won't do it because it's all inside baseball. But going back to this Coast Guard report, it's been out for 2 weeks now, where they talk about dumping water in, briefly, because I need to get to other calls and I appreciate your time. Briefly, what is concrete used for versus mud versus seawater? And why were they so mad on the rig when they said we're going to use seawater? I mean, the court hearing says that wouldn't hold the pressure down and then it would explode. But, I mean, elaborate on that.
Well, it sounds like the BP or whatever, the engineers want to put seawater into the well bore before they had total control of the well. Evidently, I don't know if they had drill pipe in the well, because, I don't know anybody that was on the rig, and I could have found this out, but evidently they was doing maybe a cement job and cementing a string of casing or something, or they was trying to plug the top of the well so they could move off a location. But whatever scenario they was doing, you need to have total control of that well and not have gas and oil in the well bore to contaminate your cement job. And what they do is, if they was moving the rig off the well, if they was done drilling and they was ready to move, and a workover rig was going to come back and put tubing to bring the well in, then that's possible. What they was doing was a cement job to plug the well so they could move everything.
No, that's admitted. They were doing a cement job and then, quote, stopped using mud, and they ordered water be injected, but it wasn't engineers. In the record, it's engineers saying, I don't want to do this. It was BP in Houston telling them what to do.
Well, it was insane, because if they was getting a kick with gas, and they knew they was getting gas, they knew dang good and well that cement job wasn't going to hold, because it was getting contaminated with gas and oil. So it wasn't going to set in place. So what they do is, when they're ready to move off a location, you put a plug inside the casing, you plug the well to where it holds the pressure back underneath the plug, then you put a layer of cement on top of these. Sometimes you may put a couple of plugs. You may put a couple of plugs depending on what your downhole pressures were to be able to contain this well. And once this well is contained and is shut in and is cemented, then you can get off the riser pipe that's going all the way to the seafloor. You can even take the BOPs off. And what I'm understanding, they had defective BOPs. They should have did this a long time ago, was put a cement plug down there and get those defective BOPs off of there and put a good set of BOPs that didn't have leaks. And because from what I understand, at some point in time, they were circulating rubber bits up, like little bits of rubber. Well, that tells them that's the seals. That's the SEALs inside the BOPs. They were circulating back up over
Well,
the
no, that's the word in the Coast Guard hearings, is that there were engineers, helicopters, repair ships just buzzing around that rig when it blew up because the orders they'd been given had already screwed it up and it was leaking. We'll come back with more calls. Stay with us. This is Key Info.